So the last time Karen was with us, she spoke about misfit socks. And today we learn about a beautiful new book from Paraclete Press, which was releases October 8th, right? So thanks for being with us.
No, thank you so much for having me and on the Feast of St. Francis. How beautiful.
Isn't that great? We had the Holy Father on earlier today. So see, you're on and the Holy Father's on. So we have everybody on. Tell us about how World Drawing God Day came into being.
Okay, so it was actually born out of this book, which was actually born out of a trip to the grocery store. Believe it or not, I was at the Stop and Shop in Natick, Massachusetts, and I was standing in front of a mound of peppers, and I overheard two little kids talking, and one little kid said to the other, "My mother said you shouldn't talk about God at school because it makes people feel uncomfortable." Ooh. And I just stood there and I thought, oh no, are we here? And I thought about our children and our children's children and maybe growing up in a world where they don't feel comfortable talking about God. So I started to pray about it, and one Sunday morning I got up and I just started to write this story about a little girl who goes to the museum, and she's so inspired by the works of Picasso that she decides she's going to draw something beyond spectacular. And what does she draw? God.
Well, that is spectacular.
Exactly. So she draws God, and each time she attempts, she heads into school and she celebrates her drawings with her classmates. But of course, her classmates cannot see God in any of her drawings. And so finally she prays to God and says, "God, help me help them see you in my pictures." And the next day she wakes up and she decides, I don't really care that they can't see God in my drawings. I know I drew God. God knew I drew God, and maybe Picasso too. And it was kind of almost the answer to her prayer, that transformation of caring about what other people think and then realizing that that doesn't matter. But that wasn't the end of the story, because she goes back to school that following Monday. And I know I'm giving the story away.
A little bit.
But do I? She goes back to school on that Monday, and everyone is drawing God.
Oh.
And every picture is different.
Hence, World Drawing God Day. And is it true that Paraclete Press, and also Church in the 21st Century are partnering?
Yes.
Partnering. What's wrong with my mouth today, Jay?
You're just back. You're just
That's
back.
what it is. They're partnering with you on this. Isn't that
on
true?
World Drawing God Day, because I wanted more from the children's book. And so I thought maybe we could start a movement one day a year where we call our world to draw God. What does God look like? And then using the hashtag Drawing God so that we can all share our images of God. So that's coming up. It's November 7th. You can learn more about it on the website, drawing-god.com. And there's lots of ideas and inspiration, and hopefully it will inspire more conversation and more young children talking about what God looks like, to them and adults too,
Sure.
So, Karen, how do we get past, though? That was a really sad story of these two children. How do we get past this where we live in a world today where people are trying to say, oh, no, you can't talk about God. And they're telling kids, don't talk about God. Is it through this type of a book, communication, November 7th, Drawing God, things like that?
I really believe that prayer can help us. I also believe in the power of our own imaginations and creating things that can get people talking about God. And that's what this book does. And I think conversation changes things. I work at Boston College. I'm the director of the Church in the 21st Century Center, and our whole mission is to be a catalyst and a resource for the renewal of the church. And we really believe that begins with providing resources that get people talking. So we have to talk our way through it, So I'm excited for the first child that draws him or herself,
Oh, there you go.
And the book can be ordered online.
Yes.
On October 8th?
It's coming out October 8th, Bishop Reed. You can pre-order it right now on Amazon, and it can be found at local bookstores and through Boston College, and yeah, it's out there in the world. And I just hope for all the viewers that they pray that this book can you know, get more young kids talking about God.
I might try to draw God later on.
I would love that.
Yeah, I might give it a shot.
Karen, thanks so much for being with
Thank
us today.
you.
Drawing God, October 8th it's released.
The book, yeah.
And then November 7th. We're all going to be drawing God.
That's wonderful. That's
Thank you so
wonderful.
much.
Thank you for having me.